So we covered this yesterday. Here's the update. Update. Judge denies Diddy's bail request. That's it. That's it, y'all. He was denied. Diddy's latest attempt to get out of the slammer has been shot down yet again. The music mogul just took another L. Um, this looks like this post has a small and some cut off version of the actual paperwork, just in case. I did bring it up here for y'all alongside as well, straight from his docket. Straight from his docket, people. Filed yesterday, 8/4/2025, a two-pager. United States against Sean Combs, the defendant. Here goes the judge. There he is, Judge Arun. Defendant Sean Combs renews his request for bail pending his sentencing. On this application, Combs doesn't contest that detention is mandatory for his crimes of conviction. He relies solely on the limited exception of, or two, mandatory detention, where one, the court finds by clear and convincing evidence that the person is not likely to flee or pose danger to the safety of any other person or the community if released. All right. And there are two exceptional areas why such person detention would not be appropriate. Exceptional reasons exist where there is a unique combination of circumstances giving rise to situations that are out of the ordinary. This statutory framework creates a presumption in favor of detention. All right. As for risk of flight or danger, Combs fails to meet this burden by clear and convincing evidence for the reasons set forth on the record at the July 2nd, 2025 hearing. Increasing the amount of bond or devising additional conditions doesn't change the calculus given the circumstances and the heavy burden of proof that Combs bears. They're like, nigga, we don't care how much money you changed or added. The circumstances are the circumstances. Even if the flight or danger requirement was satisfied, there are no exceptional reasons warranting a departure from what Congress has required. Combs' Mann Act argument might have traction in a case that didn't involve evidence of violence, coercion, or subjugation in connection with the acts of prostitution at issue. But the record here contains evidence of all three. While Combs may contend at sentencing that this evidence should be discounted and that what happened was nothing more than a case of willing swingers utilizing the voluntary services of escorts for their mutual pleasure, the government takes opposite view that Cassie Ventura and Jane were beaten, coerced, threatened, lied to, and victimized by Combs as part of their participation in these events. That makes this case unlike any of the cases Combs points to and places it outside the narrow exception to detention that Congress otherwise deemed mandatory. So, as good as we thought his lawyers, the whole team of them did, writing up that bail motion, this judge response seems wow. Wow. Let me pause there for a second and say the judge is over the cases, over the bond hearings, over the sentencing, et cetera, et cetera. I would assume that those same judges would also be over a whatchamacallit, an appeals processes. If he's taking in these type of positions as it relates to the details that came out for Cassie and Jane and what he feels was established during the case that coincides with the convictions, good luck if he thinks he's going to get an appeal or if he's going to be able to have this retried in a manner that's going to be favorable. This judge seemed very, very fair during the trial, and right now he seems very, very stern in this type of position that he's taken, and he's backing it up from what we're reading with some very, very solid angles. It kind of seems like everybody that's on Team Diddy, it could be wishful thinking. He's going to get sentenced and he's going to serve his time, and that's it. All this, he's coming home right away. He's going to get bail. He's going to do this. He's going to be able to flip and say, I'm the only person in here for messing around with male escorts. Nah, the judge ain't going. That's surface level. That's the news headlines that go around. Those are the posts, the social media posts, the actual fine tooth comb details of this case that the judge is going to enforce. He's going to sit down. He's going to sit down for whatever his sentence is, and that's it. Closed fucking book. Combs also points to a squalor and danger at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, conditions that he says have been aggravated by the federal government's aggressive budget cuts this year. The public outcry concerning these conditions has come from all concerns, but as Combs acknowledges, MDC staff has been able to keep him safe, and it's they're using their words from yesterday's shit against him. Didn't you tell us that they did a great job protecting you and taking care of you, and you didn't get into any fights, and we helped you be able to have such a great opportunity to work with your well-established dream team of lawyers and whatnot? So if you were treated so well, that's where you're going to continue, motherfucker. You're not going to use that as grounds for your bail and then flip and say, but they're so horrible. Didn't even have a single fight, nigga. You ain't have no issues, right? It's cool. Oh, the judge used it against him, flipped it, used his own words. For these reasons, as well as those stated on the record at the July 2nd hearing, Combs fails to satisfy his burden to demonstrate an entitlement to release. The motion for bail is denied. Signed by the judge, Arun. All right, there you have it.